Good morning, traders. I am Emily Bonney, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Tuesday, December 24th. We await the bell on this holiday-shortened trading day after stocks started the holiday week in the green. All three major indices closed higher yesterday. The Dow added 66 points, or 0.16%. The S&P 500 picked up 43 points, or about 0.75%. The Nasdaq climbed at 192 points, or about 1%. Bill, it's a white Christmas Eve where I am today. Maybe it'll be a green Christmas Eve for the markets. Let's get into today's action with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Hi, yes, good morning, Emily. I'm watching the S&Ps. We're trading higher. We're at 0.13% gain this morning. Good news. I mean, listen, the trading range is tight and the volumes are light, and they're going to get even lighter as the day goes on. Really, I mean, there's just not going to be a lot of action. But when you don't have a lot of action, that's when you can see some volatility swing. So let's be prepared. The big news event that really hit the tape this morning came out of China. Is they're going to be issuing 411 billions in a special treasury bonds, which are said that they're going to be using them to try and boost domestic consumption. So that's positive. You're seeing the Chinese retail stocks move off of that. That Nippon Steel deal, we had the Committee of Foreign Investments in the U.S. They couldn't reach a decision, so they just passed the buck and they moved it over to President Biden. President Biden has already said that he's against it. This is more political than anything else. They with the name U.S. Steel, they want to keep it a U.S. company. Nippon's willing to do a lot of good things to take over U.S. Steel. And without this deal, I don't know if U.S. Steel can stand on its own. So, you got to start to put economics ahead of, your nationalist rhetoric, which politicians typically do. What else do we see? Netflix suing Broadcom's VMware that hit the tape this morning. I'm seeing some gains in banks. Airline sectors are on watch this morning. Now, I wrote about this in my piece earlier this morning, and Dead News hit the tape that American Airlines grounded its fleet of planes due to a technical glitch. And I was like, oh my gosh, there it is. They have since lifted it. So that grounding only lasted for about a half hour or so. But, this is why we pay attention to the airlines, ahead of big travel periods. In Europe, we're seeing some, in European markets, we're watching them this morning. The first thing you need to point out is the DAX is closed. In Germany, they're closed. France and England, the UK, they're trading a half day session. But you look at the FTSE's up 34 points, or 0.42%. You're looking at the CAC, it's up 20 points, or 0.28%. We are seeing some gains in luxury stocks due to the China news. France's prime minister, he's pledging to cut the budget deficit to near 5%, which is helping market sentiment. And FTSE, energy stocks are moving higher, so that's positive. And then you're looking over last night, and we're looking at Asia, and Asia for the most part was higher. Japan fell 0.32%, or 124 points. It's about the yen. Japanese finance minister, he restated his concern over a weakening yen. They will do more government intervention if the yen continues to weaken. They can't let that fall apart. A weakening yen is good for the equity markets, but here they are talking about, their concern on it, which means, that they could take action, which would lower the markets in Tokyo. But then we're looking at the Hong Kong. The Hong Kong jumped 215 points, or 1.08%. We're looking at the Shanghai in China, jumped 42 points, or 1.26%. I mean, the fact of the matter is that China stimulus is big news. And, part of that is due to kind of thwart the incoming tariffs that are expected by the Trump administration. Another portion of its tariffs is really to try and help boost domestic consumption. But that resulted in gains in China and Hong Kong overnight. Now we're taking a look at oil. And oil is trading higher. We got WTI up 50 cents, or 0.72%, to $69.74 a barrel, whereas in Brent's at $73.18 a barrel, up 0.76%. The China news is helping. The China news is definitely helping. to move oil prices higher this morning. You got some news out of India about how their demand has increased in the month of November. But I think it was by 2.6% in November, their demand increased. After the bell today, we get the API stockpiles reports. I still think they're coming out at 4:30 p.m. But that time could change. But and then the EIA data that's going to come out Thursday morning, not at 10:30, but at 11 a.m. So that's that's what I have for you in terms of a morning market update, Emily.
Bill, as we head into the holiday, certainly things could be slowing down in terms of things like earnings action and economic reports. But as we can hear from your opening, you're still sifting through other sectors and segments. And given the light trading volumes, as you mentioned, there could be some swings in volatility, and that's an opportunity to take advantage of it today on the shortened trading day. So we're going to get through some of those details here throughout the show. We will make a note real quick in terms of earnings action. Bill, confirm nothing going on there, right?
Nah, it's there's nothing coming out today, tomorrow, or the entire week, and next week looks light as well. So there's nothing really to discuss on earnings reports, Emily.
And we will continue to watch that as we head into the new year. And earnings action does pick up in mid-January. Now we'll get to economic reports. There's at least one to note coming up here. But again, being the holiday, it's slow on that front too. So Bill, what is going on in terms of economic events?
At 10 a.m., we get the Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index. Okay, that's really it. I mean, yesterday we had the new orders, which is which was positive, and they did experience an uptick. Um, but that's really all we're seeing. It's pretty quiet on the economic front, which is typical for this time of year.
Quiet on that front, but as I mentioned, you're still sifting through other types of news and information, and you're doing this using your NewsWare. You break it down into alerts so you can catch this information. As you mentioned to us, you're keeping an eye on things like different sectors, the airline sector, and you're catching news. You did make that note about that Netflix news. So there's still stuff to be keeping track of to take advantage of some opportunities here. So, Bill, what is going on? What else do you see is possibly moving the markets today?
I'm just doing a quick data check. I got 15, my Dow got 15 higher, 13 lower, the rest unchanged. I'm looking at my FANG stocks. Apple's weakening, just slightly, but everything else is trading higher. So, it's kind of, positive waltz into the morning. What do we see? Amazon and SpaceX, they're said to be in discussions with IAGSA. They own a bunch of European airlines. They're talking to them about Wi-Fi access on the airlines. Yeah, that's positive. Meta, seeing some chatter about Meta has accelerated its efforts to enhance its smart glasses. They want to do video calls, video conference calls from the smart glasses. Besides just taking pictures and making calls, they wanted to be able to do video calls, which I think would be positive. Netflix suing Broadcom on patent rights, as Avago said Broadcom, violated its patent rights in virtual machines that run another computer operating system software on their host computer. So, yeah, that's probably happened. I don't think it's that huge a deal because it's a host computer, but okay. Talking Dow Jones 30 stocks. We're talking Goldman, JP Morgan. The Fed is seeking public comments to make changes to its bank stress tests. All right. We're talking Coca-Cola, lobbyists, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they're adding lobbyists. They're in a move to thwart RFK's Jr.'s attempt to remove soda from food stamps, the food stamps program. And, in terms of merger news, President Biden's going to decide the fate of that Nippon Steel deal which they're offering $15 billion for it to take over U.S. Steel. And that's all I'm seeing this morning in terms of news hitting the tape, Emily.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. We've now made it to that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. Bill, it is a shortened trading day today. The markets will close at 1 p.m. in observance of the Christmas Eve holiday. Like you said, there's low trading volume, so there could be some swings. You're looking for an early Christmas gift here. So what is your pick of the day today?
ExxonMobil, ticker XOM, X-ray Oscar Mary. I mean, listen, oil is trading higher, and ExxonMobil, should be able to get some gains this morning. The stock's really been weak. It's pulled back from, 120 something down to the 106 area. So, yeah, with oil starting to gain a little bit, there could be some positive momentum here. Um, I'm not sure if it's going to be able to do 1%, but I think it does have that ability to. I do think there is that option. I mean, I'm looking at yesterday's call volume, 56,387 calls versus 21,864. That's more than 2 to 1. That's positive. Then you look at the open interest, 619,000 versus 401,000. That's positive. Major brokers still like the stock. They got buy ratings, overweight ratings on it. They have been lowering price targets, but they still like the company because of because of the value that they can earn. But the key really is the entry price. Now, I look at ExxonMobil this morning, and it's trading 106.30 to 106.50. I want to get in under 106. I want to get in 105.75 to 106, kind of like around there, or at least the low 106 areas. Now, the thing is, you're right. I mean, today is a shortened holiday session, but if I'm able to get in at my price, I have until Thursday morning. So I have a little extra time in order for oil, and anything can happen with the oil market to really, boost these prices higher, which could boost the share price of ExxonMobil. So I look positively on the opportunity with ExxonMobil to achieve a 1% gain between now and Thursday morning's broadcast, Emily. So yeah, my pick of the day, ExxonMobil, X-Ray Oscar, Michael, between 105.75 and 106 this morning, Emily.
ExxonMobil it is today. We'll watch that, an oil sector play today. And coming up, we will do a recap on yesterday's pick of the day before we sign off. So stick with us through that. But first, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our Hot Off the Press segment. Bill, sending it back to you.
OST, Austin Technologies, updated effective data of reversed share split. Okay. American Airlines, that's the big one. They canceled their that ground stop for all the flights nationwide. They wasn't in effect for about 30 minutes, but wow, that was shocking when I saw that hit the tape this morning. Stock dropped 3% when that ground notice was issued. AstraZeneca, they voluntarily withdraw one of their drugs in the EU trial. Honda, HMC, to buy back 1.1 trillion yen of common stock. Interesting. That kind of tells me it's going to be a stock deal rather than just a buyout. Keep an eye on these quantum computing stocks and their implied volatility. NMRA, Nancy Michael Richard Apple 30-day implied volatility is at 273, whereas in the 52-week range is 78 to 403. D-Wave Quantum, their 30-day option implied volatility is 215 compared to it's a 52-week range of 20 to 255. Call put ratio 4.2 calls every one put. Quantum computing, QUBT, Quinton, Uncle, Boy, Tom. 30-day option implied volatility is 227 compared to the 52-week range, which is 20 to 332. And ticker RGTI, Richard Grace, Tom, India. 30-day implied volatility is at 201. 52-week range, 20 to 229. Could have some more room to run. RCell, Richard, Charlie, Edward, Larry received FDA approval for eCell Go Mini, which is designed to treat small wounds. I edited the tape late yesterday after the close. Chinese retailers, their stocks positive this morning due to that stimulus announcement. ASO, they're anticipating tariffs, and that caused them to cut back on imports from China, they said. That's all I'm seeing this morning.
Okay, Bill, we can hear there from your NewsWare that there's still things to be watching today. But before we sign off and get to trading on this shortened trading day, let's do that check-in on yesterday's pick of the day, which was Dell. Now, yesterday you were, like today, looking for a moving sector. You thought Dell had some room to move higher. Your goal was like a 116.25 area. The stock actually opened up a little bit lower and then climbed from there. I may have given it away, but how did your call work out?
Listen, the stock actually opened up at 116.52, but then it fell down to 116.26, and then it ran. Then it got into bull mode, and it took off, and it ran and hit a high of 119.13. So 116, 52 was the opening, then it ran up to 119.13 and closed at 118.82. You look at the stock this morning. I mean, it's trading 119.02 earlier. I saw it trading at 119.20, but you're looking at more than a $2.50 move. So you got to say Dell was a winner on Monday. Dell Computers, Dell Technologies, ticker DELL, winner.
Any way you slice that one, Bill, certainly a winner. And we will check in with you on Thursday about today's ExxonMobil pick of the day. Markets are closed tomorrow for the Christmas holiday. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here Thursday with NewsWare's Trade Talk when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Advani, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.